It was the year 1953. America was in the midst of post-war reconstruction. Highways were expanding, and the country needed vehicles that combined strength with practicality. It was in this scenario that Ford launched something revolutionary, the F-100. Before it, pickup trucks were seen only as work tools, rough, uncomfortable, and completely lacking in charm. Ford broke that paradigm. The F-100 arrived with a design that blended toughness with elegance. Its rounded lines contrasted with the boxy, dull pickups of its competitors. The chrome bumper shone like jewelry. The imposing front grille announced its presence, and that long hood concealed pure power. But it wasn't just about looks. Inside, the F-100 offered something no other pickup did: generous interior space. The bench seat was wide, comfortably fitting 3 people. The dashboard, though simple, was functional and well laid out. A large, easy-to-read circular speedometer, fuel and temperature gauges right in the driver's line of sight. Everything was designed to give full control without distractions. The doors opened wide, making entry easy even with mud-covered boots. The large, solid steering wheel conveyed a sense of command. It was a cabin made for long journeys, for those who worked hard but didn't want to give up a minimum level of comfort. But let's dive even deeper into the features that made the F-100 a revolution. The rear bed measured an impressive 2 meters in length by 1.20 meters in width, offering cargo capacity that left competitors eating dust. The sides were reinforced with double steel structure, capable of handling impacts and heavy loads without deforming. The bed floor featured raised anti-slip grooves, preventing cargo from sliding during transport. An important detail: the tailgate had robust hinges and a locking system that allowed it to be opened with just one hand, something innovative for the time. The front headlights were sealed 7-inch units, providing powerful illumination for nighttime travel on roads without streetlights. The rear tail lights, with rectangular red lenses, became a visual trademark of the F-100. The fuel tank had a capacity of 75 liters, ensuring a range of over 500 kilometers on the highway, depending on the engine chosen. Then came the heart of the beast. The F-100 could be equipped with engines from a 223 cubic inch inline-6 to the legendary 239 cubic inch flathead V8. This V8 delivered around 110 horsepower, a number that may seem modest today, but impressive for a pickup truck in the 1950s. The reinforced suspension allowed it to carry up to half a ton without complaint. The axles were brutally strong, built to handle dirt roads, mud, and gravel. The rear differential had gear ratios ranging from 3.73 to 1 to 4.11 to 1, allowing the driver to choose between more torque for heavy work or better fuel economy for long distances. The original tires were 6.70 by 15 inches, with wide tread, providing superior grip on both asphalt and dirt roads. The steering system used a recirculating ball design, requiring just over 3 full turns lock to lock, delivering precise control even during tight maneuvers. But here comes the fascinating detail. The F-100 wasn't just strong, it was fast. While competitors like the Chevrolet Apache and Dodge Power Wagon barely reached 100 kilometers per hour when fully loaded, the F-100 with a V8 engine could easily hit 120 kilometers per hour on flat roads. This made it the perfect choice both for farmers transporting tools and for young drivers looking to impress on weekends. The 3-speed manual transmission was direct and reliable. The clutch, though heavy, responded precisely. Driving an F-100 meant feeling every engine pulse, every imperfection in the road surface. It was a visceral connection between man and machine that modern vehicles simply can't replicate. The pedals were ergonomically positioned with perfect spacing between accelerator, brake, and clutch.
The gear shifter, with its long lever rising from the floor, had well-defined throws, delivering a satisfying click with every gear change. The mechanical noise of the engine, the vibration transmitted through the steering wheel, the characteristic smell of the air-fuel mixture, everything combined to create a unique and addictive sensory experience. Now, let's talk money. When the Ford F-100 was launched in 1953, its price ranged between $1,500 and $2,000, depending on the version and optional equipment. To put that into perspective, at the time you could buy a Chevrolet Bel Air, one of America's most desired sedans, for around $1,800. In other words, the F-100 competed head-to-head in price with premium passenger cars. But while sedans from that era lost value over the decades, the F-100 took the opposite path. Today, a well-preserved original F-100 can cost between 80,000 and 150,000 Brazilian reais on the Brazilian market. Fully restored models, with complete documentation and original parts, can easily reach 250,000 Brazilian reais. Rare examples, such as double cab versions or those equipped with hard-to-find factory accessories, can exceed 300,000 reais at specialized auctions. And here's the question that won't go away. What do you think of this insane appreciation? Would you pay that much for an F-100, or would you invest in a modern pickup instead? Tell me in the comments. I want to know your opinion. But why does the F-100 inspire so much passion? The answer lies in deep layers of nostalgia, engineering, and cultural identity. For many collectors, restoring an F-100 is like rebuilding memories. It's remembering a grandfather who had one just like it, reliving youth, touching something that represents an era when cars had soul. The main restoration points of the F-100 require attention and investment. The chassis is the first challenge. Decades of heavy use, exposure to moisture, and lack of maintenance leave their marks. Rust on the frame rails is common, and often entire sections need reinforcement or replacement. A well-restored chassis can cost between 15,000 and 30,000 reais in labor and materials alone.
The suspension also demands care. Rear and front leaf springs weaken over time. Rubber bushings dry out and crack. Original shock absorbers are nearly impossible to find, so most restorers opt for adapted modern versions. The braking system, originally drum brakes on all four wheels, is often upgraded to front disc brakes, ensuring safety without losing visual originality. The engine is where the magic lives. Restoring an original flathead V8 is a job for specialists. Machining, replacement of rings, valves, bearings, everything must be done with millimetric precision. Many restorers choose more modern Ford V8s, preserving the spirit while gaining reliability and power. The electrical system is another chapter entirely. Old wiring deteriorates, connectors oxidize, and rebuilding the entire system according to the original diagram requires patience and deep technical knowledge. Paint is where the F-100 truly comes back to life. Original colors like turquoise blue, cherry red, desert beige, and moss green are iconic. Reproducing them faithfully requires special paints and application techniques that respect period standards. Chrome parts, bumpers, grills, and trim also go through re-chroming processes, restoring that mirror-like shine that dazzled dealership showrooms in the 1950s. But perhaps the greatest differentiator of the F-100 is intangible. It's the feeling it evokes. When you sit in that spacious cabin, grip that large steering wheel, smell the oil and aged leather, you're not just driving a vehicle, you're piloting history. You're connected to millions of workers who built modern America, to farmers who tilled the land, to young people who escaped onto endless roads in search of freedom.
The F-100 appears in classic films, customization meets, and vintage car events around the world. It's passed from father to son as a valuable heirloom. There are clubs dedicated exclusively to it, with thousands of members sharing restoration tips, trading rare parts, and celebrating every detail of this timeless machine. The classic car market is living through a golden age, and the F-100 sits at the top of many wish lists. Collectors seek increasingly rare examples, willing to pay fortunes for specific versions. Demand exceeds supply, keeping prices in constant ascent. Investing in an F-100 today isn't just buying a car, it's securing an asset that appreciates year after year. And to you who watched until the end, thank you, truly. You're part of a community passionate about legends on wheels, about stories that go far beyond metal and engines. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications because there's much more coming. Fascinating stories about classics that defined eras, restoration secrets, market values, and curiosities you won't find anywhere else. The Ford F-100 was just the beginning. There's Mustang, Chevrolet Opala, Dodge Charger, Volkswagen Combi, and many others waiting to have their stories told. Don't miss the next videos. Comment below which classic you want to see on the channel. Share this with that friend who loves vintage cars, and let's celebrate together the machines that made and continue to make history. Until the next video, and may the road be long and full of exciting curves.